Todd Grimshaw was left devastated in the latest episode of Coronation Street after learning that Summer Spellman had been taken to hospital following a serious health scare. Life has become increasingly difficult for Summer since Theo Silverton's death earlier this year. Following the murder, she quickly found herself at the center of the police investigation after evidence emerged that contradicted her original account of events. Her situation worsened even further when Tyrone Dobbs failed to support a key part of her story. The trouble began when Summer told detectives that she had not seen Theo in the days leading up to his death. However, investigators Kit Green and Lisa Connor Swain later uncovered a brooch inside Theo's flat. Further inquiries linked the item directly to Summer, proving that she had been there on the night in question. The discovery immediately raised suspicions and placed Summer under intense scrutiny. Her problems escalated again when George Shuttleworth came across her personal diary. Inside, Summer had written extensively about her anger and resentment towards Theo. Although George struggled with the decision, he eventually informed Lisa that he had witnessed Summer leaving Theo's flat on the night he died. That information proved crucial and ultimately led to Summer being arrested. Despite the accusation, Summer continued to insist she was innocent. She told Lisa that Tyrone had also seen her leaving the flat and could confirm that Theo was alive when she departed. Unfortunately for Summer, Tyrone chose not to tell the truth. Because he was determined to keep his own secrets hidden, he denied being able to support her version of events. As a result, Summer was formally charged with murder and remanded in custody while awaiting trial. Her prospects have looked increasingly bleak ever since. Adding to her despair, solicitor Adam Barlow recently advised her that pleading guilty to manslaughter might reduce the length of any potential prison sentence. The suggestion only reinforced how serious her situation had become. In tonight's episode, Summer reached breaking point. Unable to cope with the uncertainty and fear surrounding her future, she made a desperate decision that put her health at risk. When Todd arrived at the hospital, he was horrified to discover that Summer had suffered a diabetic episode and required urgent medical treatment. Believing the prison staff had failed in their duty of care, Todd immediately confronted an officer and criticized the lack of attention given to Summer's diabetes. However, Summer quickly corrected him. She revealed that the medical emergency had not been caused by negligence. Instead, she had deliberately switched off her insulin pump herself. The confession left Todd stunned. When he asked why she would do something so dangerous, Summer admitted that she felt completely overwhelmed by life behind bars. The prospect of remaining in prison while awaiting trial had become unbearable, and she desperately wanted an escape from her circumstances. Todd tried his best to reassure her and urged her not to lose hope. Yet Summer appeared exhausted, defeated, and increasingly convinced that a prison sentence was unavoidable. With several Weatherfield residents still concealing important information about what really happened on the night Theo was killed, the question remains whether someone will finally come forward with the truth. If they do, Summer's nightmare could finally come to an end before it is too late. Coronation Street is set to take Sam Blakeman's storyline in a dramatic new direction next week as he comes face to face with the reality behind his disturbing hallucinations. The young Weatherfield resident has been battling psychosis in recent weeks, leading him to believe that Roy Cropper has been encouraging him to harm fellow student Will Driscoll. Unaware that these experiences are symptoms of his condition, Sam has become increasingly frightened and confused. Viewers have repeatedly seen a sinister version of Roy appear during Sam's hallucinations. Until now, these encounters have happened when the real Roy was nowhere to be found, making it easier for Sam to accept the frightening visions as genuine. However, that changes in next Friday's extended episode. Still convinced that Will poses a danger to him, Sam panics and runs away from his classmate. Desperate to find safety, he heads to Roy's cafe and locks himself inside, leaving the real Roy completely baffled by his behavior. The situation takes an unexpected turn when Sam suddenly notices something impossible. For the first time, he can see both the real Roy and the terrifying version created by his hallucinations at the same time. The discovery leaves him deeply unsettled as he struggles to understand how two versions of the same person can exist before his eyes. Despite his confusion, the hallucinated Roy attempts to convince him that Will is somehow responsible for the strange experience. Meanwhile, the real Roy remains calm and tries to reassure the frightened teenager. As Roy speaks to him, Sam slowly begins to recognize that something is seriously wrong and starts to gain a clearer understanding of what he has been experiencing. The episode represents a major breakthrough in the storyline, as those closest to Sam finally realize just how severe his struggles have become. One of the first people to recognize the seriousness of the situation is Carla Connor Swain. Having previously dealt with psychosis herself, Carla immediately notices warning signs when she discovers a terrified Sam hiding in the precinct. Ben Price, who plays Sam's father, Nick Tilsley, recently discussed the emotional scenes and explained why they mark a turning point for the family. According to the actor, everything changes when Sam sees both versions of Roy simultaneously and locks himself inside the cafe. Up until that point, Nick has been concerned, but the situation suddenly becomes much more alarming. Price explained that Nick is particularly shaken because Sam begins behaving in ways that are completely unlike his usual self. When Sam shuts people out and reacts aggressively towards Roy, Nick realizes the problem is far more serious than he first believed. The actor added that Carla's involvement plays a crucial role because she understands psychosis from personal experience. Nick trusts Carla's judgment and recognizes that she sees something genuinely troubling in Sam's behavior. Because Carla is usually straightforward and emotionally guarded, her concern carries significant weight. Price noted that people pay attention when someone as strong-minded as Carla becomes worried. Seeing her react so strongly forces Nick to confront the reality of what his son is going through. As the storyline continues, Sam's shocking realization appears set to become a crucial step in helping both him and his loved ones understand the true nature of his condition. As Jodie Ramsey continues to stir up trouble in Coronation Street, many viewers are becoming increasingly curious about the actress behind the character, Olivia Frances Brown. While her on-screen alter ego thrives on chaos and controversy, Olivia's real life is considerably less dramatic, although it has included both professional success and personal heartbreak. Jodie first appeared in January during the special Corriedale crossover episode before arriving in Weatherfield and dropping a major bombshell. She revealed that she was the previously unknown half-sister of Shona Platt, instantly establishing herself as a significant new figure on the cobbles. Since then, Jodie has caused no shortage of problems. Her actions have included stealing from local residents, manipulating those around her, and targeting members of the Platt family. One of her most shocking schemes involved David Platt. Taking advantage of his vulnerable state, she attempted to seduce him and even pretended to be Shona while lying in their marital bed. Coronation Street is broadcast on ITV1 every weekday evening at 8:30 p.m. and is also available to stream on ITVX.